Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, let's get straight into it. I'm going to explain why Usyk is a harder fight than Joe Joyce for Tyson Fury. Now, don't get me wrong. Both men are going to give Tyson Fury an extremely difficult night. They both bring a certain style that's going to cause Tyson Fury problems. However, Joe Joyce is a much easier fight to prepare for than Usyk, right? Just by the fact that he's a heavyweight, Tyson Fury has fought similar fighters with similar styles. Okay, he might not have fought someone who's as durable as Joyce, but he's fought people just as big, just as strong, just as fast, who has a better jab, who has just as much power. So he's fought that at heavyweight, so you can prepare for that. You can get multiple sparring partners who are big, who have a good jab, who are heavy. You can prepare for that fight, right? And for me, it will be a tough fight against Joe Joyce. But there's a blueprint there. Tyson Fury can outbox him, right? He's there to be outboxed, Joe Joyce. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm the one who said Joyce is very underrated. If you look at my previous videos, I've said how underrated he is, and he's a problem for anyone. And Joyce could beat Tyson Fury, right? He can beat any heavyweight. But I believe he's tailor-made for Tyson Fury. I believe Tyson Fury can work that style out, box from the outside, win a decision. Right? I believe he's there to be outboxed, Joe Joyce. Yes, he's tough, but what you have to factor in is when Joe Joyce fights 99% of heavyweights, he has all the advantages. He's bigger, he's heavier, he's faster. When you're fighting Tyson Fury, he doesn't have those advantages. That's the big difference. So when people are comparing fights, you can't really do that because you can't compare Joyce against Parker because Parker is a smaller man. Right, and when Joe Joyce fights the majority of the heavyweights, he's the bigger man, he's a stronger man. He doesn't have the same advantage against Tyson. Tyson is bigger, right? So what he can do against 99% of heavyweights, he can't do against Tyson. So yes, Joe Joyce is tough. Yes, he's durable. Yes, you're not going to be able to knock him out. Tyson will know that, but Tyson has all the attributes to beat Joe Joyce, right? Usyk, different ball game. Different kettle of fish. Let me remind you what Tyson Fury said about the Steve Cunningham fight. This was in 2018. The Cunningham fight, I believe, was 2013. Granted, many years ago, but this is what he said. Have a listen.
It was like a conger eel all full of oil in front of me. I couldn't pin him down. He was light on his feet. He was weighing 208 pounds or something.
He was a cruiserweight, right?
He was a three-time cruiserweight champion of the world, and he stepped up into heavyweights. He was a slick, talented boxer, and I tried to walk him down, use me size and power, but he was just outboxing me. What I'm good at, boxing, moving, slipping and sliding, I couldn't do against Steve Cunningham because he was quicker than me. He was like he was a better boxer all round than me. I couldn't do nothing with him, and he'd knock me over even though he was a light puncher.
So there you have it. He's explaining the difficulties he had with a smaller man. Right, his attributes didn't work. Right, he was slipping and sliding. It didn't work for him. Right, this is what he's saying. He's telling you the difficulties he had. Usyk's a better fighter than Cunningham. He is. Now, I'm a big Tyson Fury fan. I get accused of being a Fury fanboy or being biased. I'm not biased towards any fighter on the planet. I give my opinion based on facts, and this will prove it now. Right, and in my opinion, I don't think Tyson fancies this fight. I don't. Just by the fact that he's mentioning other fighters' names. Why is he mentioning Joyce? Why is he mentioning AJ? Why would you mention anyone's name apart from a bloke who was undefeated at heavyweight and has 3 belts? Right? And you have a chance to be undisputed champion. Why aren't you mentioning name at every second, at every opportunity you can? Why? If it was anyone else, we'd say he's ducking him. We would. So I'm not saying Tyson's ducking him. He's not scared of any man. But I don't think he fancies it because he knows the difficulties he's going to have with Usyk's style. Now, people say Fury uses his weight and he leans on fighters. He does. I say that. He's a master at leaning on you. What he will do is he'll close the distance and grab you. He will literally grab you, or he'll throw a shot and then fall into you and hold you. Right? He knows the tricks of the trade. He's very clever. He'll use every inch of his heavyweight frame. Right? The difference with Usyk is he creates angles, he pivots. So when Fury's trying to close the distance, if he spins off, he's offsetting Fury, right? And that over a sustained period of time will tire Fury out. Yes, it will tire Usyk out. And yes, I can see the logic that Fury's the bigger man. He'll hold on to him. I can see that. But Usyk isn't these other heavyweights. His movement will prevent Fury from grabbing him at every opportunity. He mentally drains you, Usyk. He's always on the move. He's busy. Always on his feet. Always pivoting. Always creating angles. Feinting. The idea that Tyson Fury is just going to blow Usyk away or comfortably beat him is just fantasy. I just cannot believe people think that. I mean, the discredit Usyk gets at heavyweight. People say he beat a poor Anthony Joshua. No, he didn't. Anthony Joshua can beat any heavyweight on his day. Fact, right? He's as powerful as any heavyweight. He hits as hard as any heavyweight. Okay, maybe not Wilder, but when you're talking about heavy punches, someone who can hit hard, AJ's at the top. Usyk took his power. Right? Usyk boxed him for 24 rounds. Right? This wasn't AJ being poor. AJ was very good in the second fight. Usyk was that good. He made AJ look ordinary. That's the fact. Just to dismiss it, to go, oh, AJ was poor, he's poor. No, he wasn't. Usyk made him look poor. That's how good he is. He took the shots. He's very good at deflecting shots, slipping them, taking the force out of them. What you have to understand is when a big puncher punches you, if you can take any of that sting away, that's going to prevent you from not being knocked out. So you might just block it with a glove and it might deflect off your glove onto the chin where you're taking the sting out of it. You might roll, slip. You might do sudden little movements where you're taking the sting out of the shot. Canelo does that well. Right? If you look at the great fighters, there's a reason they get knocked out, because they take the sting away from the shots. Usyk is a master of that. He's a master technician. Yes, he's given away size. And yes, he's fighting a master technician. And yes, Fury style will give Usyk problems. That's what makes it a fascinating fight. They both have the styles to beat each other. But I cannot believe that people are just discrediting Usyk, saying he can't win, saying it will last 6 rounds, you'll get taken out. It ain't going to happen. He's an absolute master. And he's proved me wrong. I didn't think he'd cruiserweight. I thought he was a bit overrated. Don't get me wrong, I thought he was great, but I didn't think he was as great as everyone was saying. Proved me wrong. We all thought AJ would be too big. We did. He beats him over 2 fights. All of a sudden, AJ can't fight anymore. No, that's wrong. Usyk's a master. You've got to remember, it's not just the size, it's the brain, the boxing brain. He's an absolute genius in there. Right? And Tyson Fury knows he's going to have mega problems figuring out his style. So that's why I say it's a tougher fight than Joyce. Now, physically, it won't be as physically as demanding because Joyce is a big, strong man. Right? It's going to be a physically more demanding fight. It's going to be a more demanding fight physically than the Usyk fight. But from a boxing point of view, Usyk is a much harder fight. How do you prepare for that? How? Who fights like Usyk? No one comes from cruiserweight to heavyweight and has this success. It doesn't happen. Right? We can look at the greats like Evander Holyfield and things like that, but they never moved like Usyk. Right? And let's not pretend they weren't fucking juiced to the eyeballs. We're going to pretend that wasn't the case. Look at Evander Holyfield's figure in the 90s. Usyk isn't on anything. He is a master technician. Right? And I'm a big Fury fan. If you ask me who's going to win this fight, they both can win. I can't tell you who's going to win it. I don't know. Right? That's why it's absolutely captivating. It's why I want to see it. I don't understand why Tyson's mentioning AJ's name. I don't want to see that fight next. I know what can happen in that fight. I know what can happen in the Joyce fight. I don't know what can happen in this Usyk fight. I don't know. Right? It's fascinating. Right? That's why I want to see it. And it has to happen. I'd be absolutely fuming if we don't see it next. If politics get in the way, I'd be fuming. Because for me, there's an injury come up now. It's like every time Usyk names gets mentioned, Tyson gets uncomfortable. Now he can call him names, he can insult him. Doesn't make a difference. Usyk doesn't care. He's got an iron mentality. This is why it's so fascinating, because there's nothing that Tyson can do that will get under Usyk's skin. He won't. He's just not that kind of fella. And same with the fight. They both have the styles to cause each other problems. It's a fight I want to see. It has to happen, and it's absolutely captivating. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you think Usyk causing problems? Can Usyk beat Tyson? Like, comment, subscribe, let me know.